Hello everybody. So we have a Path of Exile 2 druid walkthrough here. And this is going to be my first pick for the druid. He seems to have a very cool animation, and also Path of Exile 2 is a very hybrid focused
Hi, I'm Jonathan
release,
Rogers, one of the
seems
game
like.
directors on Path of Exile 2.
But yeah, since hybrid, the druid is naturally a hybrid character, and being able to switch between skills back and forth is going to be one of the biggest things in Path of Exile 2. And so you guys should comment and let me know if you guys are also doing a hybrid build. But I know I am. It seems like right up my alley. I love going like Trinity builds and making up my own builds and such in Path of Exile 1. But
In
we'll
Path of Exile
we'll go
2,
ahead and
you can
start
pick
here.
from one of 12 character classes. Each character has a combination of primary attributes that they focus on. Today, we'd like to show off a character who specializes in strength and intelligence, the druid. In human form, the druid is a spellcaster who channels the fury of nature on the battlefield, a walking natural disaster.
Yeah, I'm
Get up
trying
close
to
and you'll find
go
out why the druid also
half
focuses on strength.
half
Transform yourself
strength,
into one of
half
several wild
intelligence.
beasts. Today, we want to show off the bear form.
Likely
Transformation
cold,
in PoE2
light,
happens
fire
automatically
damage,
when you use a bear attack.
and physical.
Use bear maul and your character will transform into a bear, into a meaty swing. Use a spell and your character transforms back into a human and casts it. Hitting enemies with the bear's maul attack will build up rage, which increases your
That's
attack
switching
damage,
back and
so your
forth.
bear gets stronger with every attack. You can see the glowing runes
It's
that indicate
revolutionary,
rage.
basically.
Have a lot of weak enemies to take out? This is where you probably want to break out your rampage. Let out a roar and stampede over all enemies in your path, slamming the ground with your paws. The initial roar generates rage, and then the rage is consumed as you charge along. You can use rampage by itself to travel a short distance, or do some mauling first to build up some rage and travel a significant distance.
Yeah, you basically got your generating rampage or generating rage attacks, and
Now,
then your
while the bear
exerting
is big
rage
and strong,
attacks,
this isn't a
obviously.
pure strength class. You don't have as much armor as a warrior
But
would have. In order to protect itself
let me
from
know if
large
you guys
attacks,
are.
you might want to consider a skill like Furious Slam.
Would you guys go a rage build if that was possible? Just a physical damage with the bear, and then just use rage, or maybe a cast while channeling, or a cast on crit, maybe something like that, or just I know everybody's got. There's always that one person who just wants to do one type of thing, but if possible, just go rage.
This skill
That
is all about
sounds
stunning rather
extremely
than
fun.
damage, so it's quite useful if you're mobbed by smaller monsters and just need to get out of there. Of course, like any PoE2 character, you can always use a dodge roll to get out of danger. Since the bear is the slowest of the druid's forms, making sure the dodge feels reliable and can get you out of any situation is paramount. When you dodge an animal form, your character instantly transforms back with no time penalty, so that you can get out of the way. You can even interrupt a mistimed transformation halfway through. Of course, doing this will mean you pay the slight time cost of having to transform back again, but it's certainly a lot better than
Of course,
dying.
you got the latest ARPG
Something
mechanic.
interesting about the skill is that it's faster to use if you're already standing up. If you're on all fours when you use Furious Slam, then the bear has to stand up first before slamming back down. But use Maul first, and the bear will stand up as you swing, which has no time penalty. Then follow up
Yeah,
with
he can
Furious
stand
Slam,
up
and your
on
bear
2
will
feet.
quickly slam down. Much more efficient.
That's what bears do in real life. So, adds to the realism. Like, how could you not want to go rage build? I mean, look at the bear. Even in PoE 1, it was a pretty cool
Next up, I
aesthetic.
want to talk about Ferocious Roar. Ferocious Roar is a bear meta skill gem. It allows you to take any warcry skill that another class like the warrior might use and allow you to use it as a bear. I'm going to take the Seismic Cry gem and socket it into Ferocious Roar. You can actually socket more than one warcry and use them all together, but let's just stick to one for now.
Yeah, more than
Seismic
one
Cry
warcry
pushes
too.
enemies back and has some stun chance, but the reason we want to use it is for a mechanic called exerted attacks. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams. First, I use Furious Slam to stun these enemies. Next, I follow up with Seismic Cry and get the exerted attack, and then I slam again. See how 2 slams triggered?
Yep, everything is twice as entertaining when you're a bear, isn't it? They always put the most coolest animations on the bear.
So, that's all well and good, but how about we try that again using Rampage? First, get a bit of rage, slam to stun the enemies, Seismic Cry to get the exert, and then rampage around to do insane amounts of damage. So we've covered some of the bear side of the druid, but how is he as a spellcaster? Now of course we want to maximize the amount of time you spend in your animal forms, so most of the spells targeted at the druid tend to be things that last a long time or provide tactical options on the battlefield. The first and probably simplest of these is Lightning Storm. Cast it on the ground and you get an area where monsters are continuously struck by bolts of lightning. The bolts don't do much damage, but they shock monsters, which is a debuff that increases all damage on them, meaning it's a great spell to use before going in as a bear.
Yep, there's a lot of
So, that's
synergy.
good to increase your damage, but as I mentioned before, the bear form of the druid could use some defenses as well.
Yeah, you can use a lot of
Bear in particular is the
synergy with
slowest
your
attacking of
own
the druid's
skills.
form. He hits hard, but if he gets swarmed too
And
much, it will result in your
you can use a lot. There's a lot of synergy with your own skills in this game, and then they're also saying that there's going to be more synergy with co-op as well. Like characters are going to mash together a lot better. There's going to be a lot more teamwork and such. Hopefully,
death.
hopefully the
That's
end
why
game isn't
Tornado is so
completely
useful.
a freak show like Path of
Tornado
Exile
sucks
1.
monsters in, allowing you to split up packs and deal with groups separately, or pin monsters in place and set up combos.
Hopefully
with
they
skills.
cap it off, keep it under control.
The tornado doesn't really move big monsters much, so you can actually use it to separate a boss from its minions too.
They just
Druid
released
also has
a
the ability to summon animal
couch
companions.
co-op as well for this
This
game.
is another really useful defense
Side
because
note,
wolves
but-
can take aggro from you, keeping monsters away. In addition, the wolves howl as they are summoned, putting a temporary debuff on enemies that makes them more vulnerable to critical strikes, and giving you a reason
Yeah, I
to
mean, you
resummon
can
them in
go
combat.
You got rage, you go
The last
summons,
druid spell we're going to
could
talk
go
about today is
skills,
Volcano.
any
You can
elemental
cast it
you want.
quickly like this and it will spawn just a few projectiles. Or you can hold down the button to channel it for longer, which will make it fire a whole bunch of projectiles when it spawns, doing a lot more damage.
Yeah, there they go
Volcano
with the
sticks around firing
synergizing
its little projectiles
skills.
for a long time, so it's another good skill to cast before turning into a bear. Now, the reason you're going to want to turn into a bear after using Volcano is that any slam near the volcano results in it spewing out even more projectiles. And if you thought that was a lot, then Rampage is even better, because it does 2 slams every time it hits the ground, and you can run around the volcano.
Yep, that's totally awesome. Wonder what other skills are going to be able to trigger.
Now, if you've been paying attention, you might have realized that this is going to be extra good with Seismic Cry, which we were using earlier to double the number of slams. So, first we're going to cast Volcano. Then Furious Slam till you stun something, Seismic Cry to get the double slams, then Rampage around while the Volcano spews out a stupid number of projectiles. This combo would have been even better if we'd remembered to cast our Lightning Storm first, but getting time for that seems tricky. It would also have been nice if the monsters were affected by the crit debuff that my wolves do when I first summon them. This is where some meta gems to automate some elements can come in handy.
Yes,
Here's a
dude.
gem called Cast While Channeling. If we add Lightning Storm to the skill, we can cast it automatically while we channel a volcano as we set up our combo. Cast While Channeling is an ongoing effect, so enabling the skill will cost us Spirit, which is a new resource in PoE 2 used specifically for these kinds of skills. If you look at the top left of the screen as we channel, we can see the energy building up to cast the Lightning Storm. So long as we channel Volcano for long enough, the
Yep,
Lightning Storm
cast
will
while
also be cast
channeling.
on the same targeted location.
Cast on crit, melee stun.
Currently, Cast While Channeling is active in reserving Spirit in both our human and bear forms. This means that any channeling skills we use as a bear technically will also cast the Lightning Storm. We can actually do this with Rampage right now. But it's not the best because we would prefer to stack the lightning storm on top of our volcano, rather than just casting it randomly as we're rampaging around. We're also unnecessarily reserving spirit in our bear form we could be using for something else. So let's fix that. I'm going to go into the skill options for the skill and disable it in my bear form. We showed at ExileCon how you could use skill options to control which weapon set to use when casting skills. But you can also use the same interface to enable or disable which buffs you would like to have active in your different weapon sets too, without having to recast them all the time. And shapeshifting counts as a weapon set. Now when I change to a bear, the effect and the spirit reservation goes away, and when I change back to a human again, it's back automatically. So, now that we have some extra
There we
spirit
go.
available as a bear, why don't
Revolutionary
we make
right
our
there.
life a little bit easier by automating one of our other skills? This is the Cast on Melee Stun meta gem. I'm going to put Summon Wolf in Cast on Melee Stun, so that whenever I stun a sufficient number of enemies while I'm a bear, it will summon another wolf. This is great because usually when I'm stunning, it's because I'm about to do my exerted attack slam combo. When wolves come out, they howl, adding the crit debuff to the monsters, right when I need it. It also helps keep my wolves alive and summoned at all times without me having to do it manually.
Yep. I guess you just have to wait for how long you're gonna get, or how long, if I'm gonna do summons. See how summons are effective for defensive or offensive.
So, last but
Just
not
how
least, let's
squishy
talk
the
about
druid
the
is
skill
late
tree.
game.
At ExileCon, we showed how you could dual spec your character so that different
You just
weapons
have
can
to
use
just
different
have to wait
passives.
for release to have
Well,
that.
as I said before, the bear form counts as another weapon set for specialization purposes, so he gets a tree too. If I open my passive tree, you can see how I'm near a melee damage cluster and a spell damage cluster. By holding shift, I can allocate these passives in my human form, and these ones as a bear. Now, when I change between human and bear form, my passives reallocate automatically. So, here we are at the Blind Beast. The goblins have enslaved a huge behemoth and gouged out its eyes. Now they're sending it in to fight you while they watch.
What have they done to this creature?
Yeah, we'll have to wait for how things are all all the skills all level out. I'm probably leaning away from summons, probably, but I'm leaning more towards all the elemental skills. But the bear seems incredible as far as what he's capable of. I guess he's just rampage is just a part of what the bear has, just naturally. But yeah, I'm definitely going a rampage, like Trinity possibly, cold, light, fire. Like life leech possibly, but it seems anything's possible. This is definitely the most exciting class in this game, I think. This boss looks pretty cool, I guess. It's like some sort of failed experiment type of thing. He's got 2 sets of horns on his shoulders. But yeah, this is definitely number 1 class for sure. For me at least. But yep, we'll just have to wait to see summons. See if the summons are the boss killers that they are in Path of Exile 1. We don't have any frame of reference because we've never seen a druid before. But excited to see what they put together for us.
And there we have it. With a little bit of customization, we have a build that can combine many different active skills to do some really interesting effects. At the same time, your skill tree reconfigures automatically at the right time, and your buffs reconfigure automatically as well. You can even cast certain skills automatically. But we also haven't lost the dynamics of combat. Many skills interact with each other, and the ones you choose to use at any different moment depend a lot on what enemies you face or what situation you're in right at this moment. And at just the right time, you might be able to combine all your skills in one crazy combo. Get some satisfying screen covering spam and do some crazy damage. Now, these are just some of the skills targeted
Screen
at the
covering
druid in
spam.
PoE 2. We didn't even show you the wolf form yet.
So
There's a
passive
lot more to play
exile
and
one
experience,
is
and we look
best
forward to
at.
letting you guys try it out when we go into beta on June
I
7th.
guess the
2024.
spam is pretty good. I mean, who doesn't love some good old passive exile spam? But yeah, let me know if you guys are going a hybrid character. That's definitely the thing to do in passive exile too. It seems like so you can go like a rampage character. I think it's like a melee rampage character. Go like a wolf character, well, half a bear, half wolf. Go channel while casting. Go melee stun. Probably go just cast on crit. Uh, yeah, there's a whole number of things. I'm leaning towards all the elementals though. All right, see you guys later.